All right, everyone, welcome to the JumpX Podcast, episode number 47. All right, today we're going to be talking about why this certain approach or this certain mindset is holding you back from jumping higher. And that mindset is, Tom.
Asking the question, how long will it take for me to improve my vertical jump? Or saying, I need to gain 3 inches
Yes,
of vertical jump, how long will it take?
yes. So, like, first off, if you guys are looking to jump higher, you guys are looking for jump training that's going to take your vertical to another level, click the link in our Instagram bio and you can apply for our coaching there. All right, but let's jump into the podcast. All right, so why let you start off, Tom. Why do you think this approach to training and this certain mindset holds a lot of people back from achieving their dream verticals?
Well, first of all, I think that it's not necessarily, I think a lot of the time it's coming from a very good place asking this question because, yes, you want to get better and you do want to get better, as quick as you physically probably can. But then at the same time, it's like it's a very short-term mindset. And the reality of athletic training and all that, jump training, whatever, is it's a long-term thing. It doesn't just come overnight, doesn't come over 1 week. So yeah,
Exactly. Like just to touch on that, it's
yeah.
a long-term thing. How long uh did it take you to get consistent at hitting a between the legs dunk from not dunking?
From not dunking to hitting it between the legs, like
Not just hitting it, but hitting it consistently.
so like 2021, so 3 years.
Yeah. Long
Yeah.
time, right?
And
Long
that's with
time.
like literally skipping zero workouts. That's like doing
Yeah.
around to a T, all the recovery things, not going out, not drinking, not doing drugs,
Yeah.
literally following everything I possibly could do to push the needle.
Yeah, and that's training like a motherfucker, doing everything you possibly can to improve. And it took you 3 years to get to that point. Granted, you hit your first ESP in like a
29.
year, 1 year, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But you weren't trying to focus on, oh, I'm gonna hit an ESP in a year at all, right? It just happens because you're doing all the right things, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
exactly, right. And like dunking is a long-term thing, man. Such a long-term thing, and just having that short-term mindset. Like it holds you back, right? Because a lot of people have the expectation, oh, I'm gonna get to this level in 6 months, I'm gonna get to this level in 12 months, right? And if you don't get there, you feel like you failed, and then you end up wanting to give up at that point, or you feel like you're not good enough, right? And that's just an example of being too uh outcome focused and not enough process driven, right? Because like I'm rereading a book, right, called Atomic Habits, right? Very popular book. Most people have heard of it, right? Atomic Habits. One of the things it talks about, and a key point it brings up is that like a lot of people have the same goals, right? A lot of people want to be able to East Bay dunk, right?
Cool. Every basketball player would probably, if they could, yeah, I want
Yeah,
to do this way.
but why don't most people achieve it then, even though they've got the same goals?
I'd say 99% of people aren't willing to either do the work or sacrifice the things they need to do in order to get there. That's my opinion.
Exactly, right? Exactly. That's what separates people that can East Bay dunk versus people that can't, right?
Unless you're
It's
genetic.
the process. It's the process, yeah. It's the habits, right? So, like, let me ask this question, right? So, if you have the goal to East Bay dunk, right, and you just focus on the goal, and you, so one person has that goal, they want to East Bay dunk, and they just focus on that goal, or they have that goal, right? Versus the other person doesn't have that goal, but they just focus and do all the habits and the training, and they practice dunking every week. They do that every week. They do all the right things, right? As good as they can, right? Consistently for a very long period of time. Right? The person that has the goal of East Bay dunking versus the person that doesn't have the goal of East Bay dunking. Do you think the person that's just focused on the process and doing all the habits, do you think they're going to achieve that goal eventually?
Of course, that's going to be the way to go.
Exactly. Exactly, right? So that's the thing, right? A lot of people they focus on the wrong thing. They focus on the goal, which the goal is important.
Hmm.
Don't get me wrong. It's like important to have a direction, right? Um, it's like if you're trying to sail somewhere, right? You obviously want to have a destination you're sailing towards, right? But just having the destination in mind is not going to get you there. You need to do all the things that are going to get you there, right? And focus on those things. And as long as you focus on all those things, you're going to get to that destination, right? So that's where a lot of people, like even some of our athletes, right, that we talk to, they just focus too much on the goal, the outcome. It's a mistake I make as well, right? And people they end up doing things and making decisions where you end up rushing it too much. And then that's how you get injured, that's how you get demotivated, and that's how you get nowhere, right? But if
Yeah,
you kind of just,
steady increments, then try and do that.
yeah, but if you kind of just chill your mindset a bit more, right? Just focus, ensure you're getting all your training sessions done. Ensure you're, you know, making decisions that aren't going to get you injured, you know,
Yeah.
doing ISOs every day, eating well, sleeping well, ensuring you're getting 1 to 2 dunk sessions in a week consistently. You're going to get to your goals. It's inevitable, right? It's literally inevitable, right? And it's good to have, like I was saying, those goals in mind, right? But if you're just so caught up in, oh, I want to do it by this time, has to happen by this time, then it doesn't happen by this time, then you're demotivated, then you're like, don't feel like you're good enough, then that's going to lead to less results because then you're going to end up wanting to quit and then you're never going to achieve what you want, right?
Yeah.
But it's like
Yeah.
for you right now, right? Like, with your training, you don't think like, oh, like you don't really like. Obviously, you have goals you want to achieve, right? But you don't go ahead thinking, oh, I want to gain this amount of inches in this time. Uh, I want to hit this dunk by next year. No, you're just ensuring you're doing all the right things, right? And training hard, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And you
100%.
can trust and you can know as long as you're doing everything you can and you're doing the right things, it's going to happen.
Yeah, you're gonna
It's
get in
inevitable.
closer. Yeah. No.
Yeah.
What's that saying? It's like a man that likes walking walk further than a man, and then it's like something, something, something.
The
You know?
man that enjoys walking walks further um, than the man that, uh,
What does? Yeah. I'll
yeah,
search.
yeah, 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 I know what you're talking about. Because there was an audio on Instagram that went around for a while. I can't remember the full saying, but yeah. But basically, the
Oh
gist
yeah.
is,
Okay. A man that loves
uh,
walking will walk further than the man that loves the destination, which that perfectly sums up fucking jump training.
yeah, exactly, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. Like even myself, man, uh, like I have to constantly remind myself of these things, just to relax, enjoy the, journey more, make sure I'm having fun, make sure I'm, trying new dunks. Who cares if I miss, look a little bit silly, who cares? If I'm not getting there as fast as I would like to, as long as I'm doing everything I know I can at this point in time currently to progress as fast as possible, then it's gonna happen, and you'll progress more.
Yeah.
So
No, 100%.
yeah. Otherwise, if you're just constantly thinking, oh, I'm not at this level yet, oh, I'm not doing these stunts yet, oh, I need to be doing this and this and this and this and this right now, you're just gonna get demotivated and you're just gonna end up hating the process, and then you're gonna end up quitting.
Which is not sustainable. You're not going to reach your goal if you quit, are you?
No,
No.
no,
Yeah,
exactly.
I feel like we both like obviously we've both been victim to this as well. Like we're not perfect.
No one is. We're all human beings. Even if we know better, we're all human beings. We all make similar mistakes, you
Yeah.
know?
Well,
That's
for
where it
example,
helps.
it's like I have goals that I want to hit by the end of the year, right? So like 160 bench, under both dunk. Um, those are kind of like the top two right now. But if I don't hit them before the end of the year, then I don't hit them. I'll hit them later. I'm just going to do everything
Yeah.
I possibly can to make sure that it's going to happen in the shortest amount of time. Whether that short amount of time be 2 months and I get it done before the end of the year, cool. If that shortest, quickest way to get to that goal is 4 months or 5 months, cool, whatever, you know?
Like here's another thing, right? Like you having that goal towards the end of the year, right? If you're like, it's like, if you're literally like it's do or die by the end of the year, like you literally like have to achieve it by the end of the year. If you're thinking like that, then what that's going to do is that's going to cause you to make decisions in your training, which is going to make you rush the process and
Mm-hmm.
do things that your body might not necessarily be ready for because you're so focused on the outcome, the goal, right? That you're going to push yourself more than you probably should, which will lead to injury, which means you're going to progress less, and that's going to hold you back more, right? And the reason I bring this up is because I've made this mistake in the past as well.
Yeah.
You end up rushing things or doing things your body's not ready for. Or you end up pushing too hard, too fast because you're trying to rush it because you're like, I should be at this level, I should be jumping this high, I should be dunking as well, blah 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 blah. And then yeah, it always ends up ultimately getting hurt or something else happening.
No.
Well, so
Yeah.
that's where thinking like this can be detrimental as well. Versus if you're just like, yeah, I'm just enjoying the ride, doing as much as I know I can right now, to ensure I progress, but also ensure I stay healthy and don't get injured. Oh, I'm just gonna try this dunk this weekend. It's gonna be a really fun process trying to hit this dunk. I don't care if I miss it 100 times. As long as I keep going, I'm gonna hit it. That guy's gonna progress more, way more
I
than
always
the other guy with other mindset.
I always hear that guys will like they'll comment to me and they'll be like, "Damn, did not expect to dunk ball today." Like they really surprise themselves. But then like if they have a session that they're walking in there, they're like, "Fuck, I'm deloaded. I need to jump really well. This is like my one chance." More often than not, they actually don't live up to that expectation. A lot of the times, your best sessions are
Yeah.
just walk in, don't expect anything. There's no pressure. You just going in there to do what you got to do, and you surprise yourself.
Yeah, I made that mistake so much as well, like putting pressure on myself too much. Just for
Dunk?
one like fucking silly session.
Yeah, talking about dunking, right?
So, hey?
You're talking about dunking, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, okay.
yeah. And it just holds you back, man. It just holds you back. So that's where it's important to like reevaluate yourself and self-reflect a little bit and just think, am I thinking like this? If you are, then you need to change because, you know, it's not like we're NBA players competing for a championship and we only got this many games and blah blah blah, to do it by. So
No,
yeah,
no, that's true. That's true. And at the end of the day, when you think about it, most people listening to this podcast, you're a basketball player, but most likely you're a dunker or jumping athlete. And why do you do this at the end of the day? You do it to have fun. You enjoy
yeah,
dunking, progressing. So
yeah,
putting so much pressure on, you're losing sleep and you're always stressed about sessions. Well, that's not very fun, is it?
yeah, exactly. Like you touched on a really important point there because the reason most of us start this is because it's fun. Dunking's fun and it's a fun hobby for most of us, right? So you want to ensure you keep it that way, you know.
Yeah. You
So
more that way.
yeah, you do progress more that way, 100%. You
So
know,
instead of asking the question, how long will it take to gain? Actually, no, here's another point as well. So people will ask, like, I want to gain 8 inches on my vertical. How long will that take? Not only do we think it's a, how I put it, shit mindset, but it's actually like an impossible question to answer because there's so many factors that can go into that. So you actually can't, like, if you could answer the question, I guess you would, but there's no way you could possibly answer it. And if someone comes up to you and says, I can help you gain exactly 8 inches in this amount of time, well, they're obviously going to be lying to you.
100%,
Yeah.
100%. And it's just again, like we talked about this whole podcast, that whole outcome focused mindset. which we now know is counterproductive towards you progressing long term.
Mhm.
Most of you listening actually want to get somewhere where you're training, right? Otherwise, you wouldn't be listening to this podcast, right?
And it takes
So if
time.
you,
It takes time.
yeah, so if you're thinking like this, yeah, it's not gonna get you to where you want to be.
Yeah.
And everyone needs to be reminded of this.
Yep.
We do.
Oh,
Everyone does, because we're all fucking humans, you know?
no,
So,
I agree.
I don't know about you, Tom, but I notice the guys that improve most on our training think like this.
Yeah, yeah. I was going to bring it up earlier. I was going to say all the guys that we've seen have the most progress. Yeah, they have goals, and yeah, they get frustrated. You're allowed to get frustrated if you don't hit a goal. Like that's human nature. Like say you're going for a between the legs or a windmill, and you don't hit it. Yes, you can be frustrated, but these guys enjoy the process, and you don't even necessarily have to, like when I say enjoy the process, I mean they still do it. Like you don't have to go into every gym like fuck yeah, I can't wait to do my 3 sets of 4 reps. 3 seconds up, 3 seconds down, or some shit like that. You don't have to like be all enthusiastic about it, but these guys are going in day out, ticking off their workouts and not skipping because at the end of the day they do want to hit their goal. The only way to hit the goal is do everything you can in the weight room, sleep, recovery, whatever. And these guys are people like Stevie, um, Sam Thornley. Who's another good example? I'd put Tobias up there. I don't think he's skipped many sessions unless like he has to. Do you have any others that come to mind? Obviously, a lot of other guys like Hack. When Hack's consistent, he makes a lot of progress.
Yeah.
Who
Yeah,
else?
and someone like Stefan as well. Many others.
Oh yeah, Stefan for sure. No, he's like one of the most dialed in that I've ever met. Like I'd say he's obsessed with training.
He is, but he isn't. He still goes and enjoys life.
He does. He does.
But most of the guys we train right now are like this as well.
Yeah.
That's why they progress so much too. Because like I said, it affects your decision making. So like if you're so goal focused, outcome focused, right? It could be a little decision like, hey, I'm gonna try add 10 kilos to my squat this week versus I'm just gonna add 2.5 because I'm still gonna progress, right? But not too much where it's a higher risk of me hurting myself,
Yeah.
right?
Setbacks.
Try Yeah, if you try to rush it too much, try to go too heavy too fast, takes one instance where something goes snap and then you hurt yourself and then you're injured for like 4 to 6 weeks,
Yeah.
you know, because you're
Well,
trying to rush it too much.
yeah. Also, sometimes people do get injured and it's not their fault. Like, don't always think it's because you've done too much too quick. I'd say 90% of injuries generally are yes, you've just done too much. Jumper's knee, Achilles tendonitis, that kind of stuff. Obviously, yeah, you've done too
Well,
much.
especially if you're in a controlled environment, like most of our athletes
Yeah,
are,
yeah,
where
yeah,
they're
yeah.
just trying to jump higher, right? But if it's like a sport like basketball where freak incidents happen, obviously that's a different type of injury.
Yeah.
Step on someone's foot and roll your ankle, blah 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 blah.
It doesn't matter how tired, how prepared you are, like you're gonna roll your ankle regardless in that situation.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
so I think that's a good point to end off the podcast there.
Yeah,
Um,
so if you guys are looking for training, you guys are looking to jump higher, click the link in our Instagram bio, right? And you can apply for our coaching there. And we're going to coach you, right? We're going to coach you even in terms of this mindset stuff. We'll help you guys and make sure you're on track and you're thinking right, right? So if you guys need help and guidance in this area, we will help you there. But without further ado, we'll catch you guys in the next JumpX podcast.
yes, sir.
Peace out.
Bye.